Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 14 of my 6-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 5 Emperor AI that are each on their own separate team, and I'm playing as the Orc Warlord, Crognash the Brutal. In our last episode, we started to rally our forces in order to reclaim some of the cities that we've lost due to attacks from independent units. A good example of that here would be the city of Lyrian, which you can see is currently occupied by independent army, and in this case it's a bone dragon and a few other undead units. We have Urkan leading a pretty decent stack here. Urkan is going to be attempting to reclaim the city and then hopefully eventually head underground and eliminate the structure responsible for spawning these undead units that have caused me some issue. Same story over here with the city of Srock. It's also been taken by some scoundrels, and we're going to need to reclaim it and clear out the structure that spawned those scoundrels. And I'm not sure, that might be up here in this mist, or it could have come from somewhere else. We're going to have to investigate and figure that out. And then we've also got, on the other hand, up here, kind of to the north, we've got our opponent Galendil of Orlas, who's a high elf archdruid, and we're currently assembling our forces here. Crognash himself leading a stack, along with some other units here, and we're getting ourselves ready to actually start to fight against the second of our 5 opponents. So we've got a lot of work to do this episode. However, before I dive in, I did just want to give a couple of quick shoutouts to a few individuals who left some excellent comments on the last episode. The first of those comes from David Houston, and David pointed something out that I kind of hadn't been paying as much attention to. And that being that Carbanock, which is our city here located right next to our throne city, not only does it have ancient ruins, which will very shortly be in its domain, providing good upgrades here for our pikeman units. Again, Pillar of the Stylites means that produced pikeman units would have projectile resistance and +2 spirit melee damage, which is great for our phalanx units once we're able to produce them. But David also pointed out that we've also got a Spring of Life here, which I kind of forgot about, and that would unlock Stables of Vigor. Stables of Vigor means that produced living mounted units have free movement, fast healing, and high morale. So this would be ideal once I'm able to produce Manticore Riders, for example. So a great suggestion there from David to just remember that these other upgrades exist, and I think what I'm going to do is prioritize building this Stables of Vigor once I'm finished working on the Gladiator Pit, and I'm going to try and get all these upgrades done. So the Pillar of the Stylites for our pikemen, and the Spring of Life so that our Manticore Riders are going to be even stronger coming out of Carbanock. And then we've also got ourselves the Embrace Darkness upgrade, which is going to give them Lifesteal as well. So we should have some very powerful units coming out of Carbanock. And again, we still have to produce... we still have to research produce Warbreed. Then after that, we will be able to research produce Manticore Rider. So that's still a little ways away. Hence why I'm going to produce some pikemen first, and then probably some Manticore Riders. But yeah, excellent point from David there. Carbanock's probably going to be kind of my production focus in terms of unit production going forward. The next set of comments comes from Casper Eklund. And Casper reminded me here that I do have these undead units that I've gained from the Archon Revenant dwelling that I now am the owner of. It used to be my vassal. And I have these undead units here. We've got a Caster, a Revenant Infantry, and a Revenant Pikeman. And I'm currently sending them kind of over this direction and eventually north. Casper pointed out that it would actually be really great to have those undead group up with our current undead hero extraordinaire, that being Dominus the Vampire King. Again, he's our kind of, he's our special hero for this playthrough. He's really quite unique. He's an Orc Dreadnought who, again, has Control Undead and Dominate, but importantly, he also, being undead himself as well, he also has a Heal Undead item, which I did give him, or I guess will be there shortly in 2 turns. So he's very shortly going to have the ability to heal undead. He's also got Nourishing Breakfast, which gives him Nourishing Meal. So it would be great to actually have him leading a stack of undead, maybe in addition to a Blight Elemental or something like that. That would actually go very, very well with him, and would synergize in that my undead casters could heal Dominus, and Dominus can maintain and heal the undead. So I think what I'm going to do is take Casper's suggestion here and send my undead units further north, because Dominus is currently in the Shadow Realm. He actually went through this Shadow Gate. So if we send our units north, and eventually Dominus maybe comes out of the Shadow Realm, or he stays there and we just send the undead into the Shadow Realm as well, either way, I think it would be good to have them group up with him. So I think that's what we're going to shoot for. Another thing that Casper pointed out, kind of similar to what David said, is that Carbonok is going to be a real hub of production for my really strong units, and that's again because we have Spring of Life and very shortly Ancient Ruins. So Carbonok is going to be where I'm going to be producing all of probably my strongest units for this playthrough. So a big thank you to both David Houston and Casper Eklund for those excellent comments. I always appreciate them, as they are extremely helpful. Okay, now let's dive in here, as again, like I said, we've got a lot to do. So we were right at the end of our turn last time, so let's end our turn there. And we're going to have to kind of watch here and see if Galendil does anything, because, again, I have these units situated sort of hodgepodge at the moment. I mean, I have them sitting next to each other in this group here, so, I mean, I doubt he would attack me, as I've got some decently powerful units in this stack. But we'll see. Now, I'm also going to have Embrace Darkness ready to go, so I have to decide which city to put that on. I've got Embrace Darkness on most of my cities. I'll probably put it on the Archon Revenant Dwelling, even though that won't be producing units for a little while. I think that would probably be a good choice, just because I'm eventually going to want units coming out of there. I'm going to probably prioritize producing Wraith Kings, I think, rather than Archon Titans. And the reason for that is because it's going to take me a few turns to actually get these units out of here, because I've got a lot of upgrades to build. And that's going to take a number of turns. By the time I'm able to produce units here, I suspect that the front lines of battle are going to be probably way up here. And sending those Titans over there is going to take some time. We'll just do this battle quick the way we've been doing it, kind of kiting these units that are bothering our city here. And I'm going to finish what I was talking about. So, again, my thinking in terms of producing the Wraith King unit is that the Wraith King is a floating unit, meaning that it has extreme mobility. It can move over the terrain very easily, and that would be much easier to then send them off to the front lines of battle than trying to get my Archon Titans that I'm producing and have them embark across the water and do all that. They just wouldn't have the same mobility, and so I think I would actually have a better bang for my buck producing Wraith Kings. Even though they are a tier 3 unit, they're actually in many ways, I wouldn't say they're better, but they're very, very strong units. And I don't think I would really be losing out on sort of the punch of having these really strong undead, because I'd also be having that great mobility, so I could actually get them to the fight sooner. But we'll have to see as the game progresses. I may change my mind on that, but for now, I'm thinking of using that dwelling to prioritize production of Wraith Kings rather than Revenant Titans. That would be something in the comments if you guys have a suggestion on which way I should kind of prioritize that production in that Revenant dwelling. Do you think I should prioritize going for Wraith Kings as I've suggested, or do you think the Revenant Titans would be worth it, the tier 4 Revenant Titans? Alternatively, do you think maybe I should stick with just producing some Archon Casters to be able to then heal more undead units? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And of course, you know, this is still pretty early, as I've got a lot of development to do in that dwelling, so things could obviously change. Okay, so we've been able to, again, kind of do our little cheese technique to keep that city going. Ooh, and unfortunately, Crognash is under attack here. Thankfully, the unit attacking him is not extremely powerful. But we do have to be careful, as we've got a fire elemental who, as we all know, will explode when he dies. And that's never a fun thing if your unit is kind of beat up and ends up taking a bunch of damage or dying when the unit dies. We would like to avoid that happening, so that Wisp is going to be a bit of an issue for us here. I suppose we could send our Shock Serpent in to try and deal with it. I think maybe we will just tolerate the fact that the Wisp is going to phase in behind here. Yeah, we're going to just let this happen, basically. So I'm expecting the Fire Elemental to attack my shot. Oh, I forgot he had Sprint. Well, that was dangerous. Thank goodness Crognash was able to tank that damage. That could have been really devastating. I didn't really think that one through. So, let's kill the Wisp first. Let's simplify things a little bit here. Now, maybe what we'll do is we'll send our Shock Serpent down like this. I don't think this will kill the unit. Let's see, we'd be doing a maximum of 41. So unless we get a high morale critical... No, okay, we didn't get the kill. That's perfect. The whole reason I didn't want to kill him is because I want to move Crognash off so that he's not taking any unnecessary damage there. Or at least more than he already has. So we'll get the kill there. Our Shock Serpent's going to take a little bit, but nothing we can't recover from. Yeah, that was a little scary, though. I forgot that the Fire Elemental had Sprint. I was expecting him to just attack the Shock Serpent up front rather than move past and go right for my hero. Alright, so our turn is flipped over. It looks like Galendil didn't bother to try to attack us or anything like that. We now have some race governance level up here with Draconians. So we could grab a military upgrade, meaning that our Draconian Flamers get +1 defense and +5 health. Or we could grab a economic upgrade. All shrines in Draconian cities are 35 gold cheaper to build. I mean, I almost think that it's probably more worth just getting the economic upgrade because I'm not really using Draconian Flamers all that much. I think I have one in the Shadow Realm currently. So I think I'm going to do the economic because I'm not really going to be using Draconian Flamers all that much at this point in the game. Maybe if it were earlier on and I had more Draconian cities, that would have been a good choice. But at this point, I just don't think it's really worth. So Dominus now has his Heal Undead item, which is excellent. Dominus is now quite the powerful hero as he's got multiple options for healing himself and one option at least for healing his living units and another for healing his undead units. Very, very powerful. Not to mention, the one thing I really like about him at this point is he's got plus 40% physical protection from this item, and then I did give him a physical protection hero upgrade, so he's currently got 60% physical protection, 100% blight protection, almost 100% frost protection, and then protection from fire and shock. The only thing he's weak to right now is spirit. So he's quite the tanky hero. Okay, and we also finished martial arts, which is excellent. That effectively means that all of our units here are archer, cavalry, infantry, and pikeman units. Everything except for our irregulars gain the martial arts ability, meaning that they gain +5 defense against attacks of opportunity and retaliations. So they're now going to be able to kind of trade and go the back and forth little melee hits a lot more effectively than they would have before. Okay, now unfortunately with Crognash here, it's going to take a turn for us to get across the mountain range here. So we're going to have to just kind of suck it up and get that done. It does take most of our movement, unfortunately, primarily for our Shadow Demon Harvester here. I suppose we could leave the Harvester behind and just advance a little bit. Maybe we'll do that. There we go. So now we have to decide how we want to kind of build our stack here. So I think we'll kind of prioritize our biggest and baddest units going in here. I say baddest as in toughest, not like the worst. So we'll send them all in a stack with Crognash there. So now we've got a pretty powerful group here. Mostly kind of melee units. That's the only thing that's maybe a little bit unbalanced here. But we do have this Toadstool Fairy, who's a gold medal. And again, we're going to have these units all in a stack anyway, so... Alright, I think we will just chill out like this. I suppose we could use this little stack to just do a bit of exploring, but I think maybe we'll wait and just wait for the next turn here. Such that... I think we'll move them up a little bit, though, because we want to be able to, next turn, get right into the city there. Along with Crognash, and then we can siege the city together, basically, is going to be the plan there. Both these stacks, that is. Tell them to just chill out. Alright, so our undead are going to group up, and we're going to send them up this way. They will grab this hasteberry bush here, and we'll send them over to the road up here. Now, I suppose we could use this unit to try and take the city back, although I suspect we're going to have some difficulty, because I think there were probably 3 or 4 of these units in this little group here. So that may not be feasible. We could check on our way by and just see how strong it is. We could even maybe generate a unit over here and have it come and join us or something like that. Maybe we'll do that here with Parab. We could produce a... Actually, now in Parab, we can start producing our Phalanx units. That would be great. Let's do that. Let's get a Phalanx, Goblin Phalanx going. And we'll just double check here. You can see that this Goblin Phalanx has greater lifesteal, which is excellent. Very, very strong. They are going to be quite powerful coming out of Parab here. So we'll start working on that. Okay, so Hrim has produced our first Orc Phalanx, which is excellent. I think we're going to send that unit up. Again, we want to join in with Heninia here. So we're going to just send this unit straight up this way. There we go. And now in Hrim, we're going to have to continue producing some other units. I think we'll just start working on more Phalanx units, honestly, coming out of there. And yeah, I think this unit should have lifesteal. Yes, it does, because we've got the Embrace Darkness going on. in Hrim, that is. Now, this little stack, again, we want to head up this way, but we also have to be kind of careful because there were some undead units coming out of the, I believe, the underground here, so we may have to go and take care of that. Again, our Phalanx is going to move up and join us here. This would be a battle maybe we could try. Since we've got 2 priests, I think we could probably handle it. We get our... No, we can't. I was going to see if we could have this little spearman join us. Let's just take a couple of steps up here. Yeah, we should be able to handle this battle without too much trouble. This would effectively just get us a big chunk of extra casting points here. Now, obviously, we have to be kind of careful because all these wisps are going to be able to phase in behind us and cause us some issues. So, perhaps what we do is we try to kill them off. So let's do that. There's one. And we should be able to get the kill here with our mounted archer. Now the question is, if we move over here, let's try this. Yeah, we're still going to get the kill. Excellent. Okay. That was what we needed to do, is just get the kill there. Now we can light this wisp up, do some big damage, and then hopefully we can get the kill with our throwing spear here. Excuse me, our javelin, I should say. So now if we step up like this, we'll take a step in like that, and then we'll kill the wisp. There we go. Okay. Now, can we finish off this other wisp with Heninia? That's the question. I don't think we'll be able to, so what I might actually do is use Heninia to either buff one of my units or to... Yeah, I think I'll do that. So now, where can these guys go? They can go and hit my spearmen. These ones can't do anything. The wisp are probably going to jump in and attack one of my priests or my hero. Alternatively, they could go for the spearmen as well. Now, I don't want Heninia getting in any real danger here. I'm probably over worrying about this, but we'll just do this for now. We'll throw a touch by faith on our priest there, and we'll see what happens. I suspect the spearmen are going to get... Okay, so he went for Heninia. That's just fine. That's actually really good for me, as this kind of makes it easier. And now we can basically just get the kill there. Very, very nice. And then we can send our mounted archer in to put some work in here and turn these Phantasm Warriors around. Unfortunately, we don't have Convert yet, as Heninia is at level 6, not level 7. So we won't be able to convert any of these units, unfortunately. However, we can kind of do this little flank game here where we turn them around a bunch of times. So that's nice. Let's see, can we get the... Yeah, we can get the kill, no problem there. Very, very nice. And then we can do some big damage, or we could try for the curse. I think just doing the damage would be better off. There we go. Now, my only worry, I left these spearmen kind of in a precarious situation where they can get flanked real easy here. Yeah, and they're going to die. That was a bit of a mistake on my part. Alright, so now we'll just finish this off. I mean, fortunately, those units aren't that strong, but, you know, we don't want to lose units like that, especially they were silver metal, so definitely a little bit of an oopsie on my part. We'll heal Haninia, even though, as a hero, she's going to heal really quickly. And then we'll just get the kill with our priests. So that's great. We got ourselves some extra casting points there. Now we'll group up. So we're going to have to kind of wait with this stack as we need a few extra units in there. And again, we've got the Phalanx moving up to join. I suppose we could also send this Spearman up as well. Maybe we'll do that. Embrace Darkness now. We could cast... Let me see. Did we cast it on this city here in the Shadow Realm? Yes, we do. Okay. So that's good. Yeah, I think the Revenant Dwelling is going to be our next target for this. Very nice. Now, we can also use Raise Militia this turn, which I'm going to probably do here. And I think I'm going to do it on Carbonok here, just so that we have... I guess I could actually do it here. That might not be the worst plan. I think I'll do it on Carbonok, though, just so we have another unit guarding the city. We're still going to grow in one turn, so that wasn't enough to offset the city growth there. Alright, so that pretty much takes care of that. Now, let's figure out... Kind of already done this, so now we've still got a number of other heroes to deal with. We've moved our undead, so now we have to deal with Urkan. We have to try and take this city back, so let's do that. We're going to charge in and go after these pesky undead that took our city from us. Okay. So our Knight and our Big Beetle are going to be up front doing the majority of the work in this battle, that is for sure. So let's get them kind of situated properly. Meanwhile, our Caster and our Priest are going to kind of hang back, along with Urkan, and act as support here with their ranged attacks. Okay, so used up his gas breath already. It's kind of nice for us. Now, what we'll do is we'll actually move in and give our Knight a nourishing meal, perhaps. I do have to be careful. I don't want this Bone Dragon coming out and annihilating Urkan here. Oof, look at that look at how much damage we could do there. That would actually be fantastic. Yeah, let's do that. We'll throw a nourishing meal on our Knight. And then we're going to just charge right in there. Do some big boy damage. There we go. Very, very nice. Do a little bit more there. And we'll send our Big Beetle in to fight the Carrion Bird. Let's do that. Ooh, big damage there. Fantastic. And then we can move our Caster in as well to kind of assist. And we can't throw a curse because these units are undead. So as undead, they are immune to curses. I suspect the Bone Dragon may try to go after Urkan here. Let's see. Yep. Kind of what I was expecting. Unfortunately, he lost some of his casting points there, which is kind of annoying. So we'll step off here and turn him around. And probably just get the... We didn't quite get the kill. But we can just get the finish here with Urkan. Excellent. Very nice. Bit of a shame that he lost some of those casting points, but I don't think that's going to really be of any consequence for us. Kill off the Carrion Bird there. Kill off the Carrion Bird there. And now it's just these Lost Souls who are going to get a little flank attack, but nothing we can't handle. And yeah, I think we'll bring Urkan in here and do some damage. Excellent. And then our casters here can grab some extra experience. Alright, so just like that, we've got the City of Lyrian back, which is excellent. And we did get a level up here with Urkan, who is now level 10. So, at level 10 here, let's see what we'd want to give him. We've got a lot of upgrades for our units that we could do, like Charge Command or Range Command, things like that. We could throw Tireless on Urkan, meaning that he doesn't take... no action points are spent on retaliation or attacks of opportunity. That being said, I don't know if I want to risk him getting right up in there all the time. So I think I'd rather give upgrades that affect most of the units in the stack. So Charge Command is going to be less useful because I've got 2 Cavalry who already have Charge. So let's do Range Command. Yeah, I think that's going to be good for him. So now this unit's already done all its movement, but we do have our city back. So let's see. Now, what did we want to do in Lyrian here? We do have a dungeon, so we could try and get infantry production going in this city potentially. Maybe like our orc units or something like that. Alternatively, we could just use this city to generate additional kind of income, which might not be the worst plan ever. Like, we do need an extra unit in this stack, that's for sure, because we've only got 5 units, so it would be nice to be able to add to this stack. We could do a Warlord's Command and then produce a Tier 2, one of our Tier 2 units to add to the stack. That would probably be kind of useful. Let's do that. We'll do the Warlord's Command here. We'll get going on that pathway. And then what we'll do is we will throw an Embrace Darkness on this city. We can produce some units there as well, just to add to this stack. But importantly here, we're now up above 200 knowledge income, meaning that we're going to be able to get some of our upcoming research done a little bit more quickly. Okay, so now let's jump to the Shadow Realm, as we've still got some units in the Shadow Realm who need to be dealt with. So here we have True Gruck, who has been in the Shadow Realm, I think the longest of any of our units, really. And we can... let's grab this Watchtower while we're over here. We'll group all our units up. There we go, and we will engage the battle. Just some pesky halflings that need to be eliminated here. This will increase our vision range here in the Shadow Realm a little bit. And of course, just more opportunities for gaining experience. And we can also try and convert one of these units as well. Perhaps we maybe go for one of the farmers or something like that. Alright, so let's light up the men-at-arms a little bit here. We'll put our Frost Elemental up front like that. The Jesters would be great to get rid of, as they are extremely annoying. So let's go in and do that. Excellent. Put our Grunt kind of up front as well. Our Infused can kind of hang back and provide some support. True Gruck himself here did take some damage, so I think what we'll do is we'll turn... whoops. We will turn him around, is what I was trying to do there. And we'll just throw an Iron Heart, bestow Iron Heart on himself so that he's got full health. There's our Grunts doing their job, tanking damage really well. Ooh, and that unit got stunned. That's quite good for us, making our life a little bit easier. Do some big damage there. And our Frost Elemental here can assist like that. Very nice. We'll move in with our Infused and get a nice flank attack on those farmers there and get the kill. No real problem at all there. And then let's jump up here and try for a conversion on the farmer. Oh, they resisted. Again, always worth a try, just unfortunately it didn't work out. And then we can get the kill. Very nice. And now we have a lot of extra... ooh, and look at this. We've got some Shadow Demon Lords coming our way. So, that's a little scary. So we're going to have to deal with that. Now, where does this Shadow Gate come out? This one comes out underground somewhere, so we may end up going through that. We haven't cleared out this Raven's Keep, although we could probably give that a shot. So there's obviously a spawning structure up here, probably in the unexplored area here that's spawning these Shadow Demons. I think I'm actually going to kind of retreat from them a little bit. I suspect we'd be able to deal with them, but I would like to maybe try out this Raven's Keep as well. Now let's jump up here to Dominus, who we've kind of left in the Shadow Realm to kind of build an army. And again, we want to head over, clear out this spawning structure, and there's also a city over here that I can see some of the little houses of, so we want to eventually get that in our control. We'll have this city shortly, one more turn. But we've got some structures over here that we could clear out. Like, for example, we've got this glass furnace. We do have this Heart of Shadows, which does have some pretty decent units defending it, so we'll have to be careful. But we do have a fairly powerful stack here, led by Dominus himself. So maybe we go for the glass furnace just to build up our strength a little bit more before we do anything crazy. We can group up some of these other units as well. And we'll engage the battle with Dominus himself. And of course, I'm going to try and dominate one of these units if possible. I'll have to be careful, though, as we've got a lot of fire damage coming our way. Not to mention we've got this party robot prototype who has nourishing meal, which is kind of interesting. Now, the spy drone is going to need to get eliminated because that spy drone is obviously posing a bit of a risk to us since it can explode. So let's do some damage there. And then with Dominus, perhaps we jump over like this and give him a blast here with our firearm. I don't want to move Dominus too far up, but I think he'll be okay. There we go. Alright, excellent. Now, our Blight Elemental does have fire weakness. However, he's got so much health that I think he'll be okay. So maybe we send him in like this, perhaps. And then we do a weakening breath. Like that. Shadow Elf Exterminator can kind of hang back along with our Night Guard. I'm actually going to send him back a bit, just because Shadow Elves have fire weakness. So we don't really need them getting in there. Okay, there's that firebomb coming at us. Fortunately, we were able to handle that actually quite well. So now the question is, do we want to maybe try and grab one of these Draconians? And the answer to that is yes. I'm going to try. We've got an 85% chance here. Pretty solid odds. We got it. Got ourselves a nice Dominate. Now we can move over, kill off that Flamer. You'll notice what I did there is I moved the Blight Elemental up so that the Disgusting Aura would lower the resistance of this Flamer and allow me to actually get control of it. So I thought that was kind of a smart move there. But then I didn't actually use Weaken or anything. I just moved up, and then I still had movement left to go and actually get the kill over there. That was kind of nice. This Flamer can move up and do some damage here. Now we can kill off the Hatchling, and now all we've got left is this party robot who may end up trying to actually kill off our Flamer. It'd be kind of annoying if it does that. Yeah, there it is. Thankfully, our Flamer is still alive. We could give him a nourishing meal, although a lot of our units are currently in need of some healing. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll start with a unit that's already decently healthy. There we go. Now we'll move our Blight Elemental in like this. Do some damage, and then I think we can come in and get the kill. Yes, we can. Excellent. So we got ourselves another Draconian Flamer. Maybe I should have taken that Draconian Flamer upgrade for Draconian Racial Governance, but in any case, I'm going to probably send this unit back to the city just to be a city guard there, I think. Would be a good plan. And I'm kind of tempted to also head down and see if I can grab this watchtower, just so that I have the extra vision range that's going to provide. It's also going to give me an opportunity to level these units up a little bit further. So I'll do that with Dominus. Could also go grab a level up here. That would be kind of nice. Alright, let's jump back to the surface here. Again, we've already moved all these units, so let's try and wrap our turn up so we can get to the fighting a little bit. We've moved to Ninia. Just trying to think. I don't think there was anybody that hasn't moved yet. I think we've pretty much done all our movement. Let's just jump around and double check that. Okay, so this little unit here, we weren't sure. Right, this was from Ray's Militia, so we'll tell that unit to just guard the city. Just trying to think why this unit wasn't camped. Just going to double check that we've moved everybody before I pick my research here. Yeah, looks like we've pretty much exhausted our... Yep, okay, so we are good. So let's do our research now. So we've got some options here. We've got a number of things that we could finish in a single turn. Like Black Lightning, we could do in 1 turn, which would take 200. That would be very efficient. We could do Produce Warbreed in 4 turns. That would be kind of nice. I don't think I actually have any damaging spells for in battle. No, I don't. I just have Last Stand, Lion's Courage, and Swap Locations. Might be nice to just grab Black Lightning real quick, just to have the extra damage, or an ability that does some damage. It also has a chance to inflict Spirit Breaking, which could be kind of nice for... could be kind of nice if we're trying to get conversions, like Convert or Dominate. Dread Siege could also benefit us when we're going to war here, but let's do Black Lightning. Just, again, the reason I'm doing this one is because I want to have just a little bit of ability to do damage with a spell. I mean, this one doesn't do a ton of damage, but it might be enough to kill off a unit in a battle where it's like, oh, I need to kill that unit so that it can't do extra damage to me or something. It would be nice to have 1 damage dealing ability, so I'm going to grab Black Lightning, and then I'll probably do the Warbreeds after that. Alright, so now, Carbonok, we've finished our structure there. We finished our Tier 2 class structure here. So now we can produce Phalanx units. However, I do kind of want to wait until I have the Ancient Ruins so that I can make Pillar of the Stylites. So maybe what we do instead is we do a Stables of Vigor in the meantime. And then we're also going to have to do a Great Beast Lair as well once we are getting closer to having Manticore Riders. But for now, we'll take 2 turns to do Stables of Vigor. Then we will produce the Pillar of the Stylites after that. And then once that's complete, we will then go for the Pikemen for a few turns, and then we'll start producing our Manticore Riders after that. Okay, Toldran is now... What did we do in Toldran? We did the Gladiator Pit, so now we can start producing our Pikemen as well. And I think we'll do that. We'll start working on our Phalanxes here. And we can start sending them over to kind of go this way, or sending them up north as well. We can figure out what to do with them. Our little undead units here can move up the road just a little bit, so maybe we'll do that. And that'll be our turn. So I'm really excited to see what our Archdruid opponent has for defenses on his city here. We'll have to be kind of careful because although we have a decent number of units, we have a few very strong units, but most of these units aren't leveled up. So they aren't quite as powerful as they could be. And we'll have to be cognizant of that as we move in. We might not want to move in all at once. We might kind of take it a few steps at a time just to make sure that we're not... Oh, and there's the Paragon. I was expecting that to pop up soon. That means now that one of our opponents has produced or summoned a Tier 4 unit. So things are going to start getting kind of messy now, as we know that Tier 4 units are starting to be produced. So all the more important for us to really get in there and start attacking Galendil. Now, the good news here is that this is in one of our opponents we haven't encountered yet. Well, I'm not sure if that's necessarily good news or not, but it means that Galendil still hasn't completed a Tier 4 unit, as far as we know. Looks like he summoned a unit there to his city. Probably anticipating that we're going to be sieging it soon. He has gotten his peepers on us while we're in his domain, as we initially kind of rolled up to the city and then pulled back a bit, I think. So he does know that we're there. Alright, so again, we're just going to continue to hold this city. We're going to use Hininia eventually to move in and try and provide some relief for this besieged city. Got these armies of the undead that need to be dealt with. So, let's run down here. Now, this is going to get very interesting because we're going to have eliminated... we've eliminated one opponent. Let's assume that things go well with Galendil. That still leaves us 3 opponents, and we've got... Again, we're getting into that point in the game where now the Tier 4 units are going to start rolling out, and things are going to start getting pretty nasty in terms of, like, you know, potential Doomstack territory. So we're going to really have to accelerate our development here, as we really need to get Manticore Riders out fairly soon, I think. So Carbonok, I believe, is where we're going to really focus on. You know what? I may even have to forego producing Pikemen there now that I think about it, because it's going to take 2 turns to make the Spring of Vigor. It's going to take 5 turns to produce the structure necessary in order to, at least this is assuming the production hasn't changed when the city grows. It may have made it go a little faster, but you know, that's 6 or 7 turns probably just to get to the point where we're able to produce our Manticore Riders that have that upgrade from the structure there. So by the time we get that going, I suspect that we will, it'll be pretty close to when we have it done being researched as well. So okay, and here we go. We are being attacked by these Shadow Demon Lords. This is going to get real. This is going to be a pretty challenging battle here, but I think we'll be all right. Now, let's take a look at these units so we know what we're getting into. So they are a tier 4 unit. They have strong will, which means we can't try to convert them, unfortunately. They have 60% blight protection, 100% spirit protection, and 40% shock weakness. So what this effectively means is that our most powerful unit for this battle is going to be our Air Elemental. And as a result, we are going to drop a Bestow Iron Heart on our Air Elemental right out of the gate here. The good thing, too, is these Shadow Demon Lords are melee. They can only do melee damage. They have no ranged attack, and they have no special abilities like Sprint or anything like that, so we don't have to worry too much. If I have to sacrifice somebody, it'll be my Shadow Elf infused here. But we're going to try and use our elemental units here to the fullest extent that we can. Obviously, we want our grunts involved as well, as they are quite powerful. Okay, how many more turns till they get into fighting range here? So we could pull back and have them take one more turn here. So I think what we'll maybe do is we'll back up like this, and we will actually put Touch of Faith on our grunts so that they have more resistance. Because, again, these units do some elemental damage here. They do some blight and some spirit, which means that our grunts would be taking quite the pounding as they are orcs with that lower resistance. So what we're going to do here is we've buffed up our air elemental. We've buffed up our grunt. Now we're just going to have healing left to heal whoever takes a bit of damage. All right, let them come here. Let's see what happens. Also have to remember that we have some spells here with Trugrok. So we have Divine Protection, Slayer's Doubt, and Instant Wrath. So all of those might come into play here. Geez, you can see, though, how that Spirit Protection is kind of mitigating a lot of the damage that might be coming from our Mystic. Boy, they hit hard. Thank goodness our Air Elemental is really going to be able to do quite a lot of work in this battle. Our Frost Elemental will be able to do some, although is going to still remain kind of vulnerable. And our Grunt, thanks to martial arts, that's going to be very helpful as well. So I think we're in good shape. It's just we have to be kind of careful. So why don't we send our Air Elemental in and just start banging away here. I think that's going to be a good choice. So let's start off here. We'll back up one. Do some damage. Ooh, nice. We got a good roll there. Actually, quite a lot of damage. That was very nice. And then we will get in there and start beating on this one. Excellent. Let's go in and maybe do like a defensive strike here. Put ourselves in defense mode, perhaps. Alternatively, we could just roll in. I think we might actually even be able to get the kill here. Let's see if we move up with Trugrok. That would be enough to get the kill. The only problem is now this Shadow Demon could come in and attack us, which would be kind of gross. However, let's see. We can do enough to basically now get the kill if we combine that with our Frost Elemental, who's going to go right here, do a defensive strike, and now is going to hopefully tie up that Shadow Demon as well. What we'll do is we'll throw our Grunt here, and then our Infused can go over like this. Here we go. Let's see what he does. Okay, so he went for the Grunt, and he panicked them. Okay. Almost forgot about that. So they do have Fearsome here, we can see. Fearsome, yes, there it is. So the good thing about this is that elemental units are not affected. I should have probably paid more attention to that when I had the Grunt. What I could have done is put, now that I think about this, again, I completely forgot that was there. I could have used Bestow Iron Heart on the Grunt in order to give the Grunt mind control immunity, and that would have prevented them from getting feared like that. So, again, a bit of a whoopsie on my part, but that's all right. Do some damage there. We're going to step off and step back to turn him around. There we go. And now, let's see, who needs a heal? Our Air Elemental could stand to be healed, so let's do that. And then we should be able to get the finish here. So thankfully our Grunts survived, but that was a bit of a blunder on my part. I could have used Bestow Iron Heart on them to give them mind control immunity and make them immune to that effect. However, it ended up working out okay, but that would have been a real shame had we lost this champion level 4 Orc Grunt. So, again, thankfully we got lucky there. My blunder didn't cost me anything. Okay, we've had a lot of developments here, so this is really good. So one thing to note here, Urkan's spider hatched, so he's now got a vampire spider mount. Very good for him. He's now got lifesteal. He's got improved wall climbing, greater webbing touch. So he's got a number of upgrades from that, which is good for him. We had a hero level up here. Hininia is now level 7, which means we can grab both Convert and Heal. Very, very good for her. So she's now substantially more powerful as a hero as a result of that. And we'll just start moving our units up here to group up with Hininia. There we go. Now again, I believe the undead are coming from the underground. At least the ones that attacked this stack a while ago. The question is, do we want to go clear out the city first, or do we want to head underground and see if we can deal with that? I have to think about that here. Let's see what else we've got going on. So we had some cities produce units. So Harim has produced another Phalanx, which is good. We're just going to start sending them all up that way, effectively. And Toldran has produced its first Phalanx as well, which is great. So we can send this Phalanx over. Might be nice to actually go and go this. Well, it's kind of a tough call. Let's see. Now in the Shadow Realm, that would be there. That's not really going to help us much. So perhaps we just send him over this way as well. I think that's going to be the plan there. Now, I have to be careful sending these units on their own. However, I think they'll be okay from roaming units in the areas that I'm sending them. We did finish the Sigil of Awakening here in Ancinia Res. Now we can do the Obelisk of Undeath, which is going to then lead to us being able to produce a Barrow. So let's do that. We just have to remember that our non-undead units that end up in here are going to get cursed in battle. That will apply to our units and the enemy as well. Embrace Darkness is ready to cast, so we can pick a city for that. Can't remember which city we were thinking of doing for... Oh, yeah, maybe Lyrian. Could do it on Lyrian here. That would probably be a good choice. Let's see what else we've got going on. Close that off. So now, yeah, True Gruck, you can see, thankfully, all that healing is really nice as the Grunt is now back to being quite healthy. So we could take a little peek at what's inside the Raven's Keep, potentially, and see if maybe we are strong enough to handle that. However, let's go and do what we've kind of been waiting for, which is getting into battle against one of our opponents. At least this is what I'm most excited about. So what we'll do is we'll send this little stack to kind of go be a bit of a scout here. Oof. Okay, so we've given him time, and he's actually built up a bit of a decent army there. So that's actually going to be kind of difficult for us, unfortunately. Yeah, not too excited about this. So let's see what we've got. I mean, most of these units are kind of junk units that aren't particularly scary. We do have a... Okay, that's just Fertile Domain. We don't have to worry about that. Got a grit. Now we do have this Blight Doctor, which is scary because it has weakened, and a lot of blight damage coming out of these units here. Got a couple of Dire Bears, which is probably what he was summoning. Galendil himself is right there, so we're gonna have a ton of spells coming our way. That's actually a fairly difficult battle, all things considered. So we do have to be kind of careful here, actually. I don't know. Let's see what we've got. So we've got a number of tier 3 units. Shadow Demon Harvester can harvest the dead and make some extra units to help us. Doesn't look like... Let's zoom in on the city. Doesn't look like the city has a wall of any kind, so that won't be an issue. It is a bit of a risk, though. If we send Crognash in there... Again, Crognash is our... He is our leader, so if he goes in there and gets killed, that's devastating for us. Oh, this is a tough call. There's so many heroes here. He's got 4 heroes. Sorcerer, Druid himself, a Rogue, and a Necromancer. We've just kind of got this hodgepodge army. Sort of misfit units. And this, unfortunately, this Shadow Demon Harvester won't be able to get in there and actually participate in the battle, as you can see. Jeez, you know... Now, let's think about, though, what kind of reinforcements could we get here quickly? Dominus would be able to get there relatively quickly. We could get him out of the Shadow Realm in a couple of turns and grab this on our way out. So that's a possibility. Maybe we get Dominus back into this. Again, it would have been awesome if there was like a Shadow Gate over here that we could find easily. Fortunately, it doesn't look like that's really the case. Send this unit up to chill there. So now this city is ready. Let's just see kind of what we're able to do here. So we want to start developing our city in the Shadow Realm here, that's for sure. Maybe we do a Builder's Hall, get that going. And then we can start producing things here. But in the meantime, yeah, let's think about this. So if we send Dominus out through here, that's going to be about a turn and a half to get out of the Shadow Realm. So he'll be out here, and then he'll have to traverse this, which is another turn at least. So it'll be about three or 4 turns minimum before Dominus is in range to assist with this battle. Ay, ay, ay. This is a... And we've used up most of our casting points, too, with Crognash. Yeah, this was kind of a tough call. I suppose we could start producing little dinky units here to help us, maybe. And again, we're going to start having powerful units coming out of Parab, although they're still a few turns away, as you can see. Just in terms of the distance they're going to have to traverse. Could start sending in our little engineer and any other units that are coming out of here. Might not be the worst plan ever. Yeah, I really wasn't expecting him to have this many units. So that's... Let me kind of procrastinate this decision and think about it. While we're doing that, let's figure out kind of what else we're doing with the rest of our units. Alright, so we'll go back to Urkan here. So now that Urkan has cleared this out, we've got a number of other structures around here that could be cleared out. So we could start with this quarry. We could probably try the dungeon. We've got this traveling circus down here. Traveling circus would be nice in that if we clear it, we can actually potentially buy some units with gold here from it. Decisions, as always. If we do it this way, so let's say we go up here, clear this out, swoop around, try for the dungeon, try for this, then we can kind of do the full lap and come back and grab the cave entrance. Whereas if we go down here first, we're going to kind of be a little bit less efficient with our movement. So let's head up this way. And we'll engage this battle. But yeah, doing that battle with Galendil, that would be kind of a big risk. I mean, I think we would have a decent shot at it. We would be outnumbered, but we have the superior units. My only concern then is all the spells that are going to come at us from Galendil. Alright, so with Urkan, we're going to do a couple of things this battle. So first things first here, we are going to throw Phoenix Warrior on our Big Beetle, because our Big Beetle is going to have to get in there and do some work. So we're going to camp out like this. We're going to try and curse this knight. The whole point there was just to limit its movement, actually. We weren't really interested in actually getting the curse. Big Beetle's going to charge in and do some work. Probably get killed in there, I suspect. And our priest is going to, unfortunately, be taking some punishment here this battle. But we can light up this knight and then send this knight in to do some big work there. Very, very nice. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was expecting, is those units are going to take an absolute beating. But if they go down, it's not the end of the world, thankfully. So now what I might do is actually send Urkan over here. And the point being to turn this cavalry unit around such that I can get the kill. Excellent. Get the finish there. Very, very nice. Can do some big damage to these Outriders. Probably get the kill. Yes. Excellent. This big beetle could just chill in defense mode, which I think is what I'll do. I want them to soak up as many hits as possible. The thing that scares me is this knight coming around and killing off my Revenant caster, which they very well could do. So maybe I suppose we could engage them, actually. You know what, let's do that. Suck up some of their movement so that they're less able to threaten my casters down there. Again, if this unit dies, it's not a problem, as it does have Resurgence, thanks to that Phoenix Warrior spell. Okay, that's just fine. That's totally okay for us. Now we can get the kill here on the knight. Step up like this and throw a curse on the Outrider. No worries there. We could put a nourishing meal on our knight, because why not? Put back some extra health, and then we can charge right in and go nuts on this Outrider. So yeah, that Phoenix Warrior spell is very, very useful for me. Quite like having it. Let's try for the freeze. Oh, we didn't get it. That's okay, though. And let's see, can we get a curse? We tried at least to get a little more experience with our Revenant caster there. Excellent. Okay, so that battle is dealt with, and our big beetle should be coming back to us. Yes, a little bit worse for wear, but... Ooh, a cursed egg. Interesting. Plus a melee weapon here and some gold. We'll take that, as I don't really think we have a lot of melee weapons here, so we'll give that to Urkan. The cursed egg, we will send that to our hero who doesn't already have a mount. And I believe that would be Hininia, so let's send that to Hininia. Now, we can start moving down this way. Like this. Like that. There we go. So we'll head over to this dungeon. We may not be strong enough to do the dungeon, especially with only 5 units. We'll have to kind of see. Again, we're going to be shortly able to produce some pretty decent units out of this city, which will be good for us. So that takes care of that. Now, these undead. The question is, do we think maybe we can handle this battle? Let's at least see what we're up against here. Okay, we've got 3 units. We've got 3 scoundrels. I think we can probably handle that with our 3 undead. So we'll charge in and try that battle out. Especially since we've got the caster to do some healing. Oh boy, I'm still not sure about this battle. So we would have 10 units, our 10 units against... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a real tough call. It would be our 10 units, so 6 and 4 here, against their, what, 15 units, 16 units here. Mostly the heroes are what scare me the most, because the heroes can hit us with all the different spells. I mean, they are fairly low level still, so it's not like they're going to be hitting us with anything too outrageous, but... You know, the Necromancer's going to throw stiffened limbs on us for sure. Probably on our Shock Serpent and our Big Beetle or our Fly or whatever. Really mitigate our big strong units quite substantially. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to procrastinate that decision. Let's just deal with everything else first, and then we'll think about it. And again, we still have, let's just remind everybody here, we still have the movement that we can get out of there with this stack kind of and group up and sit on the edge of his domain here. We could even raid this Lost Library while we're waiting for other backup or something. So we don't have to worry about this stack here. They can get out of there and we can group them up to not be right in his domain. So, and we could also include this unit in there too then. So anyway, let's keep thinking about that, and while we're doing that, let's focus on our other units here that need to do some work. So again, with Hininia, we're not exactly sure what to do. Let's go check out this Raven's Keep for something kind of completely different. All right, let's see what we're up against in there. Ooh, okay, they would have Mass Curse. Be up against 3 Fallen Angels, 2 Wraith Kings, and a Frostling Apprentice. That's a pretty tall order. These Fallen Angels are pretty nasty units. You can see they have Unholy Champion, 5 additional fire damage against Animal, Devout, Fey, and Dedicated to Good. Well, fortunately, most of our units in our big stack here are... They do have Spirit Weakness, which would be kind of nice, as we've got... But they do have Undying, so we have to remember that as well. Not to mention Life Drain and Petrifying Scream. Yeah, I just don't think it's worth trying that battle. The risk is too high for us there. So perhaps let's do what we were going to do then, and we'll head back there. Annoying as we kind of used up some of our movement, but we'll come through the Shadow Realm here, or through the Shadow Gate, I should say, and end up in the underground and see where we are. So yeah, with Dominus here, oh, I am very tempted to send him in to reinforce our position there in the surface world. I think that would probably be a good decision. Yeah, and again, with this stack, I'm tempted to maybe go see what's going on underground rather than trying to rush in to help up there just yet. I suppose what we could do, let's go over here. We'll send 1 unit down as a bit of a scout. Okay, so there's what we can see. There it is. This Haunted Boneyard is probably what's producing the units that are giving us trouble. So... let's bring that unit back up so that we're all grouped up in a stack. And I think we will go down there with Haninia and try and clear that out. So now that unit can just hang out where it is. And again, we're sending this Phalanx in to assist them. This Phalanx is moving in to help as well. So we've got reinforcements on the way. Okay. Oh, I'm still really not comfortable with this battle. Again, I know I've been hemming and hawing over it most of this back half of this episode, but let's think about this some more. So these Dire Bears are going to be pretty nasty to deal with. Pretty solid tier 3 unit. Does have Beast Mastery, meaning that they have a greater resistance and mind control immunity, so they won't be pushovers. They have Overwhelm. Really, our main unit that we'd be relying on is the Shock Serpent. The problem with that is that I guarantee you the Necromancer is going to throw his spell, which is going to be Stiffen Limbs. I guarantee you he's going to throw that on my Shock Serpent and weaken it, make it more susceptible to damage. The Blight Doctor will probably throw Weakening on my Shock Serpent as well to really try to mitigate it. And then we've got all these units that do Blight damage here. So, yeah, I'm not feeling good about this. I think maybe what we do is we retreat a little bit, and we let some of our other units kind of group up and move in to help us a little bit. So, you know what? Let's even send this Engineer. We'll send this Engineer up to kind of join the party. And in this city here, what we'll do is we'll start producing some extra units. Even if they're not all that helpful, we'll make some Untouchables at least. There we go. So we'll get this little Engineer in here. We just want to kind of bring as many units as we can to help us out. And again, the question now is, do I bring Dominus in to assist, or do I leave him in the Shadow Realm to kind of do his own thing? I mean, he'd be bringing in some big help here with the Blight Elemental and the Big Beetle for sure, not to mention Dominus himself being very powerful. I suppose the other option is we gamble and we continue looking over this way for another Shadow Gate that's going to allow Dominus to pop up behind. You know what, on that note, let's clear this out and see if it at least gives us any indication at all of anything that we can see. So we'll do this battle, and I think what we'll try is we'll try to grab possibly this cavalry and get them on our side. So let's firebomb these units here a bit. charge in, kill off the crossbowman. And now with our Blight Elemental, we can literally step up like this and lock them down a little bit. And then our Exterminator could actually charge in and deal with this Civic Guard over there. Now, Dominate on the Human Cavalry would be a very, very good chance of being effective here. So let's actually go in and do that. Excellent. Put him in defense mode. I know that's putting Dominus at risk, but I think he'll be okay with his physical protection. Oh yeah, we're just fine. No worries there. You can see that lifesteal from these Exterminators being useful. And now let's see. Do we want to maybe heal somebody? We could heal the Blight Elemental, I suppose. There we go. And now let's do some damage just to turn these units around. Excellent. Get the kill there. And now it's just this last little unit that needs to die. We'll use our big beetles to do that. Okay, so now we've got a little bit more vision range. There's a spawning structure down here. I'm not seeing a shadow gate. I really want to see right over here, right past this celestial pool, what we've got over there. And maybe what I'll even do is I could send this cavalry over to do some scouting next turn. But I think we'll call it an episode here. What I'd like some input on this, though. I would really appreciate a little bit of... I'd like to hear what you guys think, essentially. Do you think I have enough oomph in my forces here to engage this battle? So what we're up against here, just to remind everybody, we've got a stack here of kind of hodgepodge units. We've got 2 heroes. We've got a rogue and a necromancer level 4 and 5, respectively. We've got a couple of other units here, leveled up hunter. And then we've got Galendil himself, along with a sorcerer at level 5. Galendil's at level 6. We've got 2 dire bears and a blight doctor. I myself have an Archon caster, a butcher, marauder, shadow demon larva, and then a stack led by Crognash himself, along with a shock serpent, king shock serpent at level at gold medal rank. And then we've got a big beetle, draconian flyer, shadow demon harvester, who can generate additional units using spawn larva. And then we've got a toadstool fairy. So that's what we've got on our side. So let me know in the comments if you guys think I can handle this battle, or if you think I should retreat and wait for reinforcements. And also let me know if you think that I should use Dominus to come back through the Shadow Gate, reinforce Crognash's stack, or if you think I should maybe go risky and try and find a Shadow Gate somewhere over here to bring Dominus up on the surface, or maybe underground and find a way out up here somewhere. Do you think Dominus needs to reinforce, or do you think I'm okay as it is? Again, I'm personally leaning to maybe retreating and building my strength a little bit, gathering some extra units before I try to press the battle. But let me know if you think I should give it a shot. All right, we will call this one a game here, or an episode, I should say. We'll save this one. We'll call it episode 14. All right, and as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.